Rain hammered the empty street when Lily spotted it, a tiny dog curled behind a dented trash bin. Soaked fur clung to his bones. One paw hung at a strange angle. The dog didn't bark. He just watched her with huge, glassy eyes, as if bracing for more hurt. People hurried past with umbrellas. Someone muttered, "Don't touch strays." Another shook his head. Lily slipped off her yellow raincoat, crouched, and held out the coat like a blanket. "Hey, buddy," she whispered. "You're safe." The dog flinched but didn't run. She wrapped him gently and felt every rib under her hands. Inside the 24-hour vet, the receptionist glanced at the clock and sighed. "It'll be expensive." "He's not microchipped." Lily nodded. "Do what you can." She tapped her debit card and thought about the rent due next week. Her landlord hated dogs. He had written it in bold letters on the lease, "No animals. No exceptions." At 2:13 a.m., the vet returned. Sprained paw. Dehydrated. Scared, but he's a fighter. The dog blinked up at Lily while a tech wrapped his paw. "He needs a name," the tech said. Lily smiled, still shaking from the storm. "Max." She carried Max home in a borrowed crate and tucked him into her tiny laundry room, praying the landlord wouldn't show up early. Max didn't whine. He just watched her with that same quiet, trying look, as if memorizing her face. 3 years later, on a warm summer night, Lily left her late shift at the bookstore and walked the same route home. Her life had changed, new apartment, steadier pay, Max healed and strong, but her street was still the same. She heard the footsteps 2 blocks back. Steady, then quicker. A man's voice, low, "Hey. Wait up." Her keys shook in her hand. The streetlight flickered out like a bad joke. The steps closed in. Lily crossed to the other side. The man crossed too. "Max," Lily whispered to no one, because Max was home. Then came a scrape, a rush of air, a shadow at her shoulder, and a growl she knew better than her own heartbeat, rising from the dark like thunder. Before Max, Lily's life had been quiet and small. She worked 2 jobs, morning shifts at a cafe and evenings at a bookstore in Riverbend. People liked her because she smiled and remembered orders. They did not notice when she went home alone to a studio with a humming fridge and a window that faced a brick wall. Her mother used to say, "Kindness won't pay your bills." Her father would add, softer, "But it will pay you back in ways you can't see yet." He passed when she was 19. After that, Lily kept his words like a folded note in her pocket. When she found Max, the landlord, Mr. Kirk, posted a warning on her door the next morning, "Final notice, no pets." Lily packed Max's crate and moved within a week, taking a cheaper place with thin walls but a kind landlady named Mrs. Hahn who kept a bowl of rice crackers on the counter and said, "Good dog is good luck." Max healed. He learned sit, stay, and the art of leaning his whole weight against Lily's legs when she felt sad. He followed her to the mailbox, to the laundromat, to the park where kids asked to pet him. He was quiet with strangers but playful with the old terrier next door. At night he slept with his head near the door, as if standing guard. Not everyone approved. A neighbor named Trent made loud jokes about pound mutts and asked if Lily needed a real man to walk him. She ignored him. She learned which corners to avoid and which blocks had better light. She carried pepper spray she hoped to never use. Lily never posted about rescuing Max. She didn't film it. She just showed up, day after day, baths, vet bills, early walks before work. The world did not clap. But Max did. In his way. He wagged when she entered the room, no matter how late. He brought her the same ugly rubber duck every morning like a coffee she never asked for but always wanted. On the 3rd anniversary of that rainy night, Lily slipped an extra treat into his bowl and kissed his nose. "We found each other," she said. Max thumped his tail. She felt simple gratitude, and that felt like enough, until the summer night when footsteps began to follow. The man behind her didn't back off. He cut across the street at the same angle she did and matched her pace like a mirror. Lily's breath tightened. She replayed safety tips in her head: walk toward light, call someone, make noise. Her phone battery blinked red. 1%. Hey, he said again, closer. Don't be rude. His tone was soft, but wrong. Something in it smiled without lips. Lily spotted the corner deli. The light over the sign buzzed. The door was locked. Closed. She kept moving. The alley by the florist cut toward her block. She didn't like that alley, but the main road would take longer, and the steps were almost at her heel. She turned. He followed. Just wanna talk, he said. When his hand finally reached for her shoulder, another sound came first, claws on concrete, fast and hard. Max. He was supposed to be inside. Mrs. Hahn must have opened the stairwell door to shake out a rug. Or maybe Max heard her from the window and found a way. Lily didn't know. All she knew was the weight that slammed between her and the stranger. Max didn't bark the way small dogs bark. He lowered his head and let out a growl so deep it felt like a train rolling through the ground. The man jerked back, startled. Whoa. Call it off. Lily grabbed Max's collar with shaking fingers, but Max didn't lunge. He planted himself side on, chest forward, teeth bared, a fence with fur. The man tried to smirk. Cute. Hero dog. He stepped left. Max stepped left. He tried right. Max shadowed the move, shepherding Lily backward toward the better light. A window on the second floor slid up. You okay? Mrs. Hahn called. A phone camera glinted. Another window opened. A teen on a skateboard lifted his phone, too. The street woke up in little squares of glass. The man hesitated. He pulled a hat lower over his eyes, muttered a curse, and backed toward the darkness. Crazy lady, he spat. Keep your mutt. Max didn't move until he was gone. Then he turned and pressed his head into Lily's leg so hard she had to bend to keep from falling. She buried her face in his neck and shook. Good boy, she whispered. Good, brave boy. The danger felt over. But karma had just begun to turn. Lily filed a police report that night. The officer was kind but tired. Without a clear face, it's tough, he said, gesturing at the blurry stills neighbors had texted her. We'll patrol more this week. He handed her a pamphlet about safety apps. She lay awake until dawn, Max curled under her arm. The fear was sharp at first, then dull, like a bruise you keep bumping. Beneath it, something else burned, anger. Not wild anger. Clean anger. The kind that asks quiet questions. Why do men like that pick women like me? Why do they assume no one will help? Why did I think I had to walk faster and smile smaller instead of demand safety? At noon, she went to work. She shelved new releases. She made small talk. Everyone said they were sorry and then gave advice she didn't ask for. Carry your keys between your fingers. Take a cab. Maybe don't walk alone at night. She nodded and thanked them. Inside, she felt smaller than she had in years. She hated that feeling. She hated that the man's voice lived in her head, saying, "Don't be rude." That evening, Lily took Max to the park. He sniffed the clover, then came back to sit against her shin like a little anchor. She rubbed his ears and thought about the first night, about how everyone had walked past and told her not to get involved. She thought about the landlord who'd tried to force her to give Max up. About Trent's jokes. About the way kindness had felt like a private thing, quiet, invisible, uncounted. A jogger slowed near the bench. Hey, is that the dog from last night? He asked. He had seen Mrs. Hahn's video on the neighborhood app that was badass. Lily laughed for the first time in a day. He's braver than me. Maybe because you taught him to be, the jogger said, and kept running. Lily watched him go and wondered if that could be true, that the care you give returns as courage when you need it most. She looked down at Max. What now? Max blinked. His tail tapped the bench. Under the quiet, she felt a new strength, not loud or vengeful, just ready. If the world wouldn't clap for kindness, maybe it could learn from it. The video spread. Not viral, not millions, but enough. Neighbors shared it. The bookstore put a small sign by the register, "This week's local hero, Max." Kids stopped by to give him treats. An officer returned to say 2 more women had filed similar reports. "Your footage helps," he said. "We're connecting dots." Lily started a simple habit, every night shift, a buddy walk. A coworker named Priya lived 2 blocks away. They started walking together. Priya loved Max. Max loved Priya's crunchy carrot snacks. The streets felt different when 2 people took them back. Then the bigger blow landed. Trent, the neighbor with the jokes, cornered Lily by the mailboxes and smirked. "See the flyers?" He pointed to a pole outside, "Dogs banned from courtyard, new policy." The property manager had posted it that morning. "Some of us complained about barking," Trent said. "Maybe you should rehome the mutt before rent goes up." Mrs. Hahn, who managed the building, had tears in her eyes. "Owner changed hands," she whispered to Lily later. "New manager is Mr. Kirk. The same landlord who once tried to evict Max. He had bought the building." Lily's small victory felt like it was slipping. "They can't take Max," she told the air. Max rested his chin on her knee and breathed slow. She opened her laptop and started reading tenant laws. That night, she posted one message on the neighborhood app: "New building manager banned dogs. This is Max, the dog who scared off the man following me. If you felt safer because of him, would you share a note below?" Notes poured in. The jogger wrote that he changed his route after seeing the video and felt braver. A mother said Max's growl woke her, and she called the police when she noticed movement by her teen's window. A delivery driver said Max's presence in the lobby made late drop-offs feel less risky. Lily printed every comment. She didn't sleep much. But when morning came, she was ready. Mr. Kirk arrived with a clipboard and a stiff smile. "Policy's policy," he said, posting official notices by the mailboxes. 30 days to remove all animals. Fines start next week. Complaints about your dog have been documented. Trent leaned in the hall, enjoying the show. Lily stood in the lobby with Max at her side, the stack of printed notes in her hands. "These are also documented," she said. She handed Mr. Kirk a folder: neighbor statements, city pet-friendly housing laws, a copy of the service animal statute explained in plain English, and a letter from her therapist stating Max's role in her recovery after the assault attempt. Her voice shook but didn't break. "Your rule violates Section 8110. And you know it." Mr. Kirk skimmed, bored. "Sue me." He turned to leave. Trent laughed. "Maybe the mutt can argue in court." Lily felt the bottom drop out. She could fight, but fights cost money. She could move, but moving meant leaving the little village that had shown up when she needed it most. Her chest ached with that old smallness. She hugged Max and walked upstairs, past neighbors who looked sorry but helpless. At her door, she found a single envelope. No return address. Inside was a business card: Detective Rowan, Riverbend Police. On the back, a note: "We identified a suspect from your night. Name: Trent Calloway. Previous complaints. Please call." The hallway tilted. Lily looked down the stairs. Trent's door was half open. He was the one in the alley. Her stomach turned cold. She had nodded to him for months. She had held the elevator. He had stood in the same lobby watching the same video people praised, and he had smiled. She called the detective with shaky hands. "We'll proceed," Detective Rowan said. "We needed a positive ID from someone who knows him. Your statement closes the loop." Lily hung up and slid down the wall. Max put his paw on her knee, the way he did the day after the rain. The fall felt complete: fear, betrayal, and a landlord who wanted her gone. She pressed her face to Max's fur and whispered, "I don't know how we win this." Lily didn't go to work the next morning. She sat at the kitchen table with Max and a legal pad. On one side she wrote losses, safety, home, trust. On the other side she wrote truths, Max is brave. Neighbors care. The law is on our side. Trent is the suspect. She took a slow breath and decided to build instead of break. She called Detective Rowan back. "If I go public, does it help?" Rowan paused. "It could bring out other victims. It could also be hard." "Your call." Lily texted Priya, the bookstore manager, and Mrs. Hahn. "I want to do something. Will you stand with me?" That afternoon, under the maple tree by the courtyard, Lily set up a small table with a sign, "Community Safety Meeting, tonight at 6. Bring your dog. Bring your story." She taped a photo of Max in his yellow bandana to the front. At 6, a few neighbors came. By 6:10, a dozen. By 6:30, 2 dozen and a reporter from the local paper who had seen the app thread. Lily kept her voice simple. She told the story in third person, as if it had happened to someone else in their building. She showed how Max had helped. She read the printed notes. Then she did the brave part. "The police identified a suspect," she said, steady. "He lives here. His name is Trent Calloway." Heads turned. Trent's door stayed shut. Detective Rowan, who had slipped into the crowd quietly, stepped forward. "We're following procedure. If anyone has information, please speak with us." The meeting ended with a small march around the block, not loud, just steady. Dogs and bandanas. Parents pushing strollers. Old men with canes. The street where Lily once felt small looked different under a string of porch lights. It looked like hers. Before bed, Lily drafted a letter to the building's parent company and copied the city council. She attached the folder and a link to a petition titled "Keep Max, Keep Us Safe." She fell asleep with Max's head on her foot and a new thought in her chest: maybe karma needed a calendar invite. Morning brought motion. The petition hit 1,200 signatures in a day. The local paper ran the headline, "Dog who defended woman now faces eviction." A radio show asked Lily to call in. She kept her words calm and short. "Kindness kept me safe. Please don't punish it." Mrs. Hahn, normally shy, found steel in her voice. She gathered maintenance logs showing 0 dog complaints for the past year. Priya organized a books and biscuits pop-up outside the bookstore, free kids story time, dog treats by donation for the shelter where Lily had adopted Max. Detective Rowan called at lunch. "We obtained a warrant," she said. "Mr. Calloway's work boots match the impressions at the scene. We're moving forward." By evening, the parent company's inbox was full. So was Mr. Kirk's. He stormed into the lobby and pointed at Lily. "You did this." Lily met his glare, Max seated at perfect heel. "No," she said. "Max did. And everyone he made feel safer did." Kirk sputtered. "Dogs shed. They smell. They ruin carpets." Mrs. Hahn stepped between them. "So do bad landlords," she said quietly. The lobby went still. Neighbors cracked small smiles they didn't bother to hide. Lily sent one more packet, this time to a city council member who ran on a platform of safer streets. She included a simple ask: adopt a good paws policy, let verified, well-behaved dogs stay in multi-unit buildings as part of community safety plans. At dusk, the council member replied with a thumbs-up emoji and, "Let's talk at the meeting tomorrow. Bring Max." For the first time since the footsteps, Lily felt taller than her fear. She gave Max an extra dinner and whispered, "Tomorrow, we make it official." Max wagged and dropped the ugly rubber duck in her lap like a seal on a treaty. City Hall was packed. Lily stood at the microphone with Max sitting steady at her side in his clean yellow bandana. She told the story simply: rainy night, a scared dog, a kind choice. Then 3 years, a quiet life, a man in the shadows, and the dog who stood between them. Detective Rowan spoke next. She explained the case without drama, multiple complaints, a pattern, a positive ID, a warrant served that morning. Officers had found a hat and jacket matching the video in Trent Calloway's closet, along with a list of women's names and schedules. A low murmur swept the room. Trent, handcuffed in the back, stared at the floor. The council member introduced a new motion, the Good Paws Ordinance, a program to certify resident dogs with basic training, allow them in common areas, and offer small rent credits to buildings that adopt the policy as part of neighborhood safety efforts. Mr. Kirk rushed to the mic to protest. He talked about carpets and noise and the kind of tenants dogs attract. The room turned on him. Parents spoke about walking home after closing shifts. Seniors spoke about feeling less alone on hall benches. The deli owner waved free coffee vouchers and said Max got the first one. The vote wasn't close. The motion passed. The city clerk handed Lily a copy with an embossed seal. People clapped, not wild, but warm, like rain after a long heat wave. Mr. Kirk left pale and silent. Weeks later, an article would note that his company lost 3 buildings contracts over community relations concerns. As the crowd thinned, a woman in a navy suit approached Lily, eyes wet. "I'm the mom of one of the girls on that list," she said. "Thank you." She knelt to pet Max. "Thank you more." Outside, cameras flashed. Lily blinked against the lights and held Max close. She hadn't planned revenge. She had planned safety. But the man who hunted women faced charges, and the landlord who punished kindness lost his grip. If that wasn't karma, it was close enough to feel like it. The bookstore kept the little sign by the register for a whole month, "Our local hero, Max." Kids drew him with square teeth and superhero capes. Someone made him a tiny medal from cardboard and ribbon. He wore it only long enough for a photo and then tried to eat it. Lily and Max finished the Good Paws class with ease. He already knew the rules. He had written them himself the night he stood his ground. On weekends, they visited the shelter together. Lily didn't make speeches. She cleaned bowls and folded blankets. People started adopting dogs a little faster. It felt like the town had remembered something it already knew. Trent pled to multiple charges. He moved out under a judge's order and a quiet crowd watched from windows without waving. Mr. Kirk kept his job title but not his power. The parent company quietly appointed Mrs. Hahn as property director for the block. She added a new line to the building handbook, "Dogs allowed. Kindness expected." On the anniversary of the rain, Lily walked Max to the same alley. The florist had added string lights. The deli kept its door open late. The trash bin was gone. Lily placed a small sunflower by the brick where Max first stood between her and fear. She looked down at him. "I thought I saved you," she said. "But maybe you saved the part of me that still believes people will stand up for each other." Max leaned into her legs, heavy and certain. The world hadn't changed overnight. But the circle had come back around. Moral: kindness is not a weak choice. It is a seed. It grows in quiet places, then shows up when the dark does. What you rescue today may rescue you tomorrow, and sometimes, it rescues everyone around you. If this story made you smile or breathe a little easier, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Drop a comment. Have you ever helped an animal, or been helped by one? New karma stories every week. See you in the next one.